A big thing that we notice when we're actually working with these men is that they're struggling with the nutrition, the training, and the mindset portion of everything that has to do with fitness. Now, what men typically try to do when it comes to the nutrition aspect is they're going to go ahead and try to do fad diets like keto or carnivore, or any of these types of things like that. The new diet that you see, the new diet you see once a month on Facebook or Instagram or any social media platform that guarantees you fat loss in 14 days or less, or whatever the fuck it is this time. Or they're simply just doing crash diets where they're starving themselves or trying to have one small meal a day. That alone in itself is nonsense. I'm sure that we all understand that. If you've tried it before, you realize that it's not sustainable or maintainable. And that's the biggest thing that we're trying to avoid here, is making it sustainable. Anyone can get into shape, but who can keep that forever, right? That's why you see so many men nowadays either get into shape and fall right out of it, or get into shape and then have a family, get a busy job, and then fall out of it. They're not doing it sustainably. Now, when it comes to these fad diets and these crash diets, what it does is it causes men to either, one, have yo-yo weight fluctuations, right? They're going up and down and up and down and up and down on the scale, which is, number one, going to hurt your mindset and cause you to fall out of it in itself. And the other thing that's going to happen is that you're either going to see a small bit of progress and then plateau for an extended period of time and fall out of it, or you aren't going to see any progress at all, which neither of those things are good at all when it comes to what we're trying to accomplish here. Now, when it comes to the training aspect of everything overall, what a lot of men try to approach this, they're trying to do one size fits all cookie cutter programs, whether they are going on Google and they're Googling different workouts, or they're searching up on YouTube different workouts, or social media. They're just going on to Facebook groups like this and stuff like that, and they're searching for that perfect workout that's going to give them exactly what they need. That's not the way it works. Every body is different, and they have different lifestyles, different genetics, the way their body works and their thermodynamics are different. They have different injuries, etc., etc., etc. And so when you go to social media or any of these other searching platforms and you're looking for that program that will get you into shape, a lot of time they could work. They could work for a short period of time. But ultimately what's going to happen with that, I see it all the time. Men will have injuries. They will become burnt out in the process, or they'll ultimately lose motivation to continue since they're seeing no substantial progress. So they'll just fall out of it and quit. They will become discouraged and just think that it's impossible for them specifically to accomplish what they want to, which is completely untrue. Now, when it comes to that third portion, which could arguably be the most important part of it, right? Nutrition is the most important. Training and mindset are on the same level. All three of them combined are very important. It doesn't just triple your progress, it compounds and quadruples, if not more, the amount of progress that you're going to get. And the third portion is mindset, like I spoke about. And what a lot of men are struggling with is they're struggling with something called lone wolf syndrome. What this is, which I say probably 75% of men who are trying to get into shape or just living in America right now are struggling with this. What it is when they're jumping into their fitness journey 100% without any guidance or direction, and they're not addressing these underlying mindset issues of why they're eating all this junk food, why they don't want to work out, why they put the weight on in the first place, why they feel depressed, why this, why that. They avoid that, or they just don't even think about solving it, and they jump in 100%, pushing the throttle to the max and giving it all they got. What this will cause is these men will have short-term successes. They'll jump into it for a couple days, maybe a couple weeks, maybe even a month or two. But ultimately, they'll have long-term failures because they'll fall out of it. Those mindset issues or lifestyle issues will creep up from behind impede their progress and kick them off track, so they either have to start the cycle all over again and keep going through it, or they just never go on the cycle again. Now, the way that we find to solve that first portion, the actual nutrition portion, and to not have those yo-yo weight fluctuations, is to find your caloric maintenance. Now, what this is, it's the amount of calories your body needs every day just to function, have the same energy level throughout the day, do what you do, and you won't lose weight or gain weight at all. That's your caloric maintenance. Now, what you need to do is find that, and then if you're shooting for fat loss, then you need to go ahead and subtract 200 to 300 calories from that maintenance level, and that would be the calories you're going to eat for fat loss. Now, within those calories, your macronutrients, proteins, carbohydrates, and fats, you're going to want to have a 50% protein macronutrient split, a 30% carbohydrate macronutrient split, and a 20% fat macronutrient split when you're shooting for fat loss. The protein is so high to maintain the muscle and get a good amount of calories in that aren't going to promote fat gain. The carbohydrates are a little bit lower, so you still have energy. You know, those carbohydrates can turn to glycogen, then to ATP, so you still have energy throughout the day. And now the fats are there just for hormone balancing and just overall health in general. Fats are super duper important. They are a bit lower, as they'll always be. When it comes to muscle gain, let's say you don't have a lot of body fat, but you want to gain muscle. What you're going to do with that is you're going to find that maintenance, and you're going to add 250 to 300 calories as well. Instead of subtracting it, you're going to add that to your maintenance, and then the macronutrients there are going to be 50% carbohydrate macronutrient split, a 30% protein macronutrient split, and still a 20% fat macronutrient split. The reason that the carbohydrates are so much higher is because the carbs are going to be the main volume that is going to add onto the muscle, and you're going to need a lot of energy for the type of workouts you're doing there as well. The protein's 30%. That's a great amount to have just to maintain that muscle and help it rebuild back together stronger and bigger than it was before. And again, the fats for hormone balancing and overall health as well. Now, that second part, the training aspect, this is also a big confusion. People find they want to get into shape and they'll jump into the training 100% without the nutrition or even the mindset portion. That it's not going to work. You will not see damn near any progress, and if you do, it's not going to be a lot at all. So you want these things to compound on each other, so when you get that nutrition figured out first, then you go ahead and you start with the training aspect and really figuring that out. When it is time to move into the training aspect, it's going to be a hypertrophic based training sessions. What hypertrophic means, or hypertrophy, is it means that you're aiming for fat loss and muscle gain. You're trying to look aesthetic and become healthier. Now, the way to achieve this and train with hypertrophic training methods, you're going to do 8 to 12 sets per muscle group per week. That means your chest is going to have 8 to 12 sets of whatever workouts per week. Your legs, 8 to 12, your back, 8 to 12, your arms, 8 to 12, your shoulders, 8 to 12, etc., etc., etc. And you're going to want to get in the gym 5 times a week. The workouts should be no longer than 45 minutes and no less than about 35 to 40 minutes as well. Now, when you're actually doing these 8 to 12 sets, you need to have the rep range as well. It just so happens that that is also 8 to 12 reps per set. The biggest thing with that is we're training maximum fucking intensity. Like, I mean, absolute maximum. If you're training for 4 sets of 12 on bench press and you get on, you put 100 pounds on and you're able to pump out 25 reps, that doesn't count as one of the sets. That was a warm-up set. Move up to a higher weight and find a weight that 11th and 12th rep of the set is like, you have to push absolute as hard as you possibly can to squeeze that 12th rep out. And you know, if you tried the 13th, you would fail. That is a proper set when you're going for fat loss and muscle gain. Now, that rest time in between that set and the next set is going to be 30 seconds to about 45 seconds. Don't track this on a watch or anything like that. Sit down, drink some water, catch your breath, make sure your heart rate is still kind of up a bit, but balanced out a little bit more, just enough so you're ready to go doing a set that intense that you just did. Go do that, do 8 to 12, each muscle group per week, and that is going to maximize what you're doing in the gym, and I promise you will see a lot more results than you're seeing with any other type of training that you're doing now. Now, this last portion, the actual mindset portion, is the hardest to fix. Number one, very simply put, you need to stop feeling sorry for yourself, okay? You can't be a martyr, you can't be someone looking for attention, and you cannot always be taking the easy route. You need to stop acting like a bitch, okay? Sometimes it takes that to hear from someone who truly cares about your fitness journey and how you feel in your health and living a happier, longer, healthier life to actually realize, okay, I'm taking the easy route out and I'm not going to ever accomplish what I truly want to on my fitness journey, right? Some people need a different level of that. Some people don't need that at all, and they just need a process. They can follow it and they're good to go. What a lot of people will do is they're going to rely on motivation. That is the absolute worst thing you can do. Motivation is a great tool, right? Motivation will get you to the dance, but it will not keep you dancing forever. The thing that is going to allow you to keep that forever, wake up early in the morning, not cheat on the diet, go to the kids' sporting events, and then go get a workout in, and also take the wife out to dinner, and then finish up the work you needed to do, and then take the dogs out and do the yard work you needed to do, that's going to be discipline. And discipline is not fleeting. Discipline will last forever. If you can properly build discipline in your lifestyle, you can achieve anything that you put your mind to. Not just getting a ripped physique and helping your mindset. You can literally do whatever you want with your time on this earth.